The following matchup is being played with History Maker Baseball Express, a fast-playing baseball simulation board game, a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. Welcome to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, we kick off our second of four rivalry weeks here for the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, as we are going to feature this week the unlikeliest of rivals in Major League Baseball. So, in this case, what I'm saying is, whenever it's unlikely, you may never know if they can be a rivalry matchup, or if they won't. But it is what it is. So today we're going to rewind the clock back a little bit to feature the battle for the Vedder Cup between the San Diego Padres and the Seattle Mariners. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to tune in to find out, because game one is coming up just around the corner. But before we get to first pitch, let's take a look at our official play game sponsors, and say thank you to our official play game sponsors, I should say, for today's episode of Rivalry Night as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour.
We would like to take time to say thank you to our official play game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. This episode, first of all, is being brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. Hey, it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned. There's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses finest ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. Twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major. Doc Cola is sure to keep fired up from dawn till dusk. Take the Doc Cola challenge. See why our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza, starts with crust. Then we layer on our homemade pizza sauce and load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. Then we give the majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who as responsible as a tree. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection. Left the store. And by Suncoast Capital Banks. At Suncoast Capital, we live by one simple rule of investing. When our clients win, we win. When our clients lose, we win. Suncoast Capital, you know we're going to get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at 25% of coast to coast between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. with unlimited text and messaging those hours, of course. So why overpay for services you cannot live out? Rubicon Wireless.
And we're just about set and ready to go for game one of this episode of Rivalry Night, featuring the Vedder Cup, as we are featuring probably one of the very weirdest an unlikeliest of rivalries here for Rivalry Week number 2 of our 4-week installment of Rivalry Weekend, even though Rivalry Weekend was already played out, but we're at it again. So with that being said, we are featuring the 2024 San Diego Padres and the 2024 Seattle Mariners in the battle for the Vedder Cup. Your pitching matchup for game 1 is as follows. For Seattle and finishing up his warm-up tosses is Bryce Miller, and he will be opposed at the other end of the half of the first inning is Joe Musgrove. Bryce Miller has full star, full flash, and full control. Musgrove has full flash and full control. With that being said, this game is being played with History Maker Baseball Express, and without further delay, let's jump right into Game 1 and see who will take that all-important 1-game-to-none lead in our installment of the Vedder Cup. And with that being said, Jurickson Profar is ready, Miller is ready. Let's get to it from T-Mobile Park in Seattle. We'll get things going with a 3-6-6. Let's see here. Workman pitcher on Miller. He's not. Utility batter on Jurickson Profar. He is not. So therefore, that is going to be an RBI question mark check. And unfortunately, the decider die says no, but the black 6 was right there. Jurickson Profar, if the decider die was showing dot, there is a rule in the express version of History Maker Baseball. If the black die, in this case the white number, so that way you guys can see out on screen, if the white number is a 6 and the decider die was a dot, Jurickson Profar would not have scored 1 RBI, but 2 RBIs. But instead, it's going to be a no runs result of a 3 blank, and that is going to do it for the top half of the first here at T-Mobile Park here in Seattle. And coming up next is going to be the Mariners' turn as they bat in their half of the first, and we do see Joe Musgrove popping out of that dugout, and he's ready to go against Victor Robles to lead things off for the Mariners in the bottom half of the first inning. Two, 3, 6. Struggler or Gilded on Musgrove. He is not. Sad sack on Robles. Get out of here. No way. That is going to be yet another RBI question mark check. And my God, this time the decider die shows dot and the black die says 6. So therefore, it's not 1 RBI, it's 2 RBIs. So Victor Robles will get the first runs on the board, or I should say the first 2 runs on the board for the Mariners, as Victor Robles will get 2 RBIs on the board for the Mariners, and they lead it after 1 inning of play, 2-0 over the San Diego Padres. We're going to get things going again with a 1-2-2. Struggler on Miller. He's not. Yes, champion on Tatis. He's not a champion, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 dot, and that is going to do it for the top half of the top half of the second here at T-Mobile Park. Your score is remaining 2-0 in favor of the 2024 Seattle Mariners. 2-4-5 on Julio. Struggler on Musgrove. No. Sad sack on Julio Rodriguez. No. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. Musgrove has both flash and control, so therefore that too is going to be reduced to a big fat goose egg, and it will be a no runs result of a 5 blank. And that is going to do it for the first 2 innings here at T-Mobile Park. The score remains 2-0 in favor of the Seattle Mariners. 1-1-5 is what we're going to get things going with for this top half of the third for the Padres. Struggler on Miller. He's not. Utility on Cronenworth. He's a semi-utility. The decider die says he is not. So therefore, that is going to end up being a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Bryce Miller has flash. So therefore, that 5 is going to be reduced to a 4. That is going to put runners at the corners for Manny Machado to hit off the men on base chart. We have a 26. Home run king, it's home run. Manny Machado is a semi-home run king. Oh, and the decider die says he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for my contact results. We have a 3. Stat sack or utility on Machado. He is not. So therefore, the Padres are going to get on the board thanks to an RBI from Manny Machado. And that is going to be all she wrote for the top half of the third. The Padres creep a little bit closer. It's still 2-1 in favor of the Seattle Mariners. 2-2-4. Ace pitcher on Musgrove. No. Utility on Cal Raleigh. Oh man, he is a utility batter. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result. 2-2-4, ace, no utility. Yes. So yeah, no runs result of a 4 blank, and that will do it for the first 3 innings here at T-Mobile Park. Your score after the first period of play, the first 3 innings, is Seattle Mariners 2 and the San Diego Padres 1. Four, 6, 6. Here we are. Workman on Miller. He is not. Hero on Bogarts. He is not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Xander Bogarts is a semi-slugger. The decider die is, the black die is a 6. However, the decider die says he is not. Double check. Workman on Miller, no. Hero on Bogarts, no. Yes, decider die was not used. So therefore, Xander Bogarts just crushed it. He crushed that ball. But however, Julio Rodriguez somehow made the catch in the no-fly zone, a spectacular catch, robbing Xander Bogarts of a solo shot. And that is going to be a no-runs result of a 4 blank. And that is going to do it for the top half of the fourth. Here at T-Mobile Park, the score remains 2-1 in favor of the Seattle Mariners. 1-2-2. Struggler on Musgrove. He is not. Champion on Randy Arozarena. He is not. Therefore, it's going to be a no runs result of a 2 dots. And that is going to do it for the first 4 innings here at T-Mobile Park. Your score after the first 4 innings is a Seattle Mariners lead of a score of 2-1 over the San Diego Padres. 2-5-6. Workman on Miller. No. Sad sack on Merrill. Get out of here. No way. Men on base, -1 for the black die if flash. Miller does have flash. That 6 will be going from bases loaded to a 5 with runners on second and third for Tyler Wade. And he will take his hacks off the men on base chart. We have a 12. Slugger hits home run. Oh, Tyler Wade is not a slugger. So therefore, that's going to be a single. 2 runs are going to come across to score, and the Padres, I should say, are going to take the lead 3-2, scoring an RBI, 2 RBI single for Tyler Wade, and the Padres take a 3-2 lead as they head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. 3-4-5. Star on Musgrove. No. Sad sack on Luke Raley. No. That is going to end up being a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. Musgrove has both flash and control. So therefore, that 5 is going to be reduced by 2. It'll be a 3. They're going to put the runner on third. Go big or go home for Mitch Haniger. To bat off the men on base chart. 34. Slugger hits double. Mitch Haniger is a semi-slugger. However, the decider die says he is not. The Mariners just tied the game up. They only wanted to get one run, the chance to tie this game up, and sure enough, they did it thanks to a Mitch Haniger RBI single. And after 5 innings of play, the score is now deadlocked at 3 apiece between the 2024 San Diego Padres and the 2024 Seattle Mariners. 3-3-4 to begin this next half inning here for the Padres. 3-3-4. Star on Miller. He is a star, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result, and that is going to be a no runs result. Yes, no runs result of a 4 blank, and that'll do it for the top half of the 6th. We head to the bottom half of the inning with the score all dead even at 3 between the Mariners and the Padres. 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, for freshness, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, I play it as 3 full fresh and 3 semi-fresh. With that being said, we're in the semi-freshest innings, and Musgrove is considered still fresh thanks to the decider die. And again, for the decider die on freshness, I go as dot. He's still fresh. Blank. He's not. So with that being said, we ask, is Jorge Polanco a champion batter? Unfortunately, he is not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank, and that'll do it for the first 6 innings here at T-Mobile Park. The score remains deadlocked at 3 apiece between the Mariners and the Padres. Timeout. And we're just about ready to go for the top half of the 7th here at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. And look at this. The Mariners made a quick pitching change as they want to go to the bullpen hero right away, as they are going to bring out Colin Snyder as he has full flash, full ace, and semi-control for this at-bat against Ha-Sung Kim. He will have the full extent use of the control quality. With that being said, the score is still deadlocked at 3 apiece. Who is going to blink first between the Mariners and the Padres as we resume play here in the top half of the 7th inning? 2-5-6. 2-5-6. Here we are. Workman on Snyder. No. Satsak on Kim. No. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Snyder does have flash, so therefore that 5 was going to be reduced to a 4 when the runners at the corners. For who you know, Jurickson Profar. This could break the game wide open for the Padres if the 2D6 on the men on base chart rolls for Profar in Profar's favor here. Let's find out if it did. We have a 35 control pitcher. Colin Snyder was full control for Ha-Sung Kim. Now he's back to semi-control for Jurickson Profar. So in this case, he has So in this case, Snyder does have. We ask, do we have a control pitcher? We have a semi-control pitcher in Snyder, and the decider die says yes, we do. Unfortunately, Jurickson Profar was not able to get the runs home, but the Padres threaten but do not score here in the 7th inning. Here at T-Mobile Park, with your score all deadlocked at 3 as we head to the stretch. And while these fine folks sing a good rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, along with God Bless America, we do see that bullpen door swing wide open for the San Diego Padres, and they are going to bring in a new bullpen arm, and we will find out who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And the fine folks here in Seattle sing a good rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, along with God Bless America. And we do see Jeremiah Estrada now on the mound for the Padres. He has full star, double flash, and semi-control. But for this at-bat against J.P. Crawford, Jeremiah Estrada will have the full extent use of the semi-ace quality. With that being said, we resume play here in the bottom half of the seventh as everyone is relaxed back in their seats to watch this thrilling ending to Game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night, featuring the battle for the Vedder Cup in the 2024 San Diego Padres and the 2024 Seattle Mariners, all deadlocked at 3 apiece. We'll get things going once more with a 4-6-6. Workman on Estrada, no. Hero on Crawford, no. That is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. J.P. Crawford does not have home run king, neither does he have slugger, so therefore that is going to do it for the bottom half of the seventh, and it will be a no runs result of a 6 blank. And that will do things for the first 7 innings here at the ballpark. Your score after 7 innings is deadlocked at 3 between the Mariners and the Padres. Three, four, five. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Star on Snyder. Oh, he doesn't have it. Satsack on Tatis. He does not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. Snyder has flash, so that 4 will be reduced to a 3. However, he has semi-control. The decider die says he does, so that 3 will be reduced to a 2. So from 4 to 2, we put Tatis on at second base for Jake Cronenworth to hit off the men on base chart. We have a 36. Active batter gets runners advance to base a single plus a stolen base. Unfortunately, Jake Cronenworth does not have active printed out on his running quality. That's how I play it, but I'm not sure how really it should go. But it will be a contact result. And I roll the red die for my contact charts for those results. It's a 5. We ask, is Cronenworth a champion? He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a pop-out to end the top half of the 8th. It's still anybody's game. The Padres threaten but do not score. The Mariners have a chance with Josh Rojas coming to the plate, nearing the top of the lineup for Victor Robles. Josh Rojas will lead things off for the Mariners. We have a 4-4-6. Star on Estrada. Oh, he does. Wow. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 6 dot. And that is going to do it for the the first 8 innings of this ball game. Your score after 8 innings is all dead even at 3. We get to the 9th inning here at T-Mobile Park by that score. We have a 5-5-6. Star on Snyder. Oh, he doesn't have it. Hero on Machado. 5-5-6. Yes. Hero on Machado. He does not have it. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Manny Machado has semi-home run king. The decider die says yes, he does. The go-ahead home run was just hit by Manny Machado, and the Padres take a 4-3 lead going to the bottom of the 9th inning here at T-Mobile Park. Now the Padres lead it 4-3 over Seattle. Seattle has the opportunity to tie. Can they do it? Let's head to the bottom of the 9th with the score: Padres 4, Mariners 3. Four, 5, 6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Jeremiah Estrada is the bullpen hero arm, so therefore he is considered fresh for the remainder of the contest. Champion on Victor Robles. He's a semi-champion. However, the decider die says he is not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Oh, and Victor Robles does not have home run king or slugger qualities, and that is going to do it. The final score here for Game 1 of this episode of Rivalry Night: the Padres behind a go-ahead home run by Manny Machado Blitz the Padres here in game one of this episode of Rivalry Night between the Padres and the Mariners by the final score of 4-3. And we're just about set and ready to go for game two of this episode of Rivalry Night between the 2024 San Diego Padres and the 2024 Seattle Mariners. A couple of lineup changes before we get into game two. For the Mariners, Dylan Moore, Luis Arias, and Leo Rivas will be in the game. In for this contest, as Dylan Moore will act as the designated hitter. Luis Arias will be the third baseman, and Leo Rivas will be the shortstop for Seattle. For San Diego, Kyle Higashioka will be behind the dish for the starter Michael King, who is finishing up his warm-up tosses as we speak. Egui Rosario will be the third baseman. Manny Machado will be the designated hitter for this contest. Jake Cronenworth will be the first baseman. Jake Cronenworth will be the second baseman, and Luis Arias will be the designated hitter for game two. For Jake Cronenworth, if a fielding ask is being asked upon for Jake Cronenworth, we will give him the iron quality because he is playing out of position. With that being said, your starting pitching matchups for game two of this episode of Rivalry Night between the Mariners and the Padres is as follows. Michael King will be on the mound for the Padres, and Brian Wu will be on the mound for the Mariners. With that being said, Julio Rodriguez is about set to lead things off here in the top half of the first for Seattle. And let's get right down to it. As King is ready, so is Rodriguez. Let's play ball here for game two of this episode of Rivalry Night. Game two will begin with a 2-3-5. Star pitcher on King. You better believe it, he is a star. So therefore, that's going to be a no-runs result of a 5-dot. And that'll do it for the top half of the first. The Mariners go by the wayside here in the first inning. It's now the Padres' turn as they come up to bat here in the bottom half of the first inning. Another 3-4-5. My word. Star pitcher on Wu. Wow. He is a star. So therefore, that's going to be a no-runs result of a 5 blank. And that'll do it for the first inning here at Petco Park here in San Diego. The score is a big fat goose egg between the Mariners and the Padres after 1 inning of play here for game two of this episode of Rivalry Night. 4-4-6. 4-4-6. Here we are. Star pitcher on King. You bet he is. So therefore, that's going to be a no-runs result of a 6-dot. And that'll do it for the top half, for the first inning and a half of this ball game. Your score is a big fat goose egg between the Mariners and the Padres. We have a 1-2-3. Workman or Struggler on Wu? No. Champion on Merrill? No. That is going to be a no-runs result with a normal no-runs result of a 3-dot, and that is going to do it for the first 2 innings here at Petco Park, with the score remaining at a big fat goose egg between the Mariners and the Padres. Five, six, six. 5-6-6. Here we are. Star pitcher on King. Yes, sir. That is going to be a no-runs result of a 6-dot, and that'll do it for the top half of the third here at Petco Park After 2.5 innings of play, the score remains at a big fat goose egg between the Mariners and the Padres. 1-2-6. 1-2-6. Struggler on Woo. No. Or Gilded. No. Hero batter on Egui Rosario. He is not a hero. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result. However, there's a possibility for a solo home run. Egui Rosario both has semi-slugger and semi-home run king. The decider, we'll take this result for this decider die roll for the slugger since it's showing a 6. But does he have home run king though? He most certainly does. So therefore, Egui Rosario will hit one high, far, and gone. And the Padre faithful jump up and down as they now lead it 1-0, thanks to a Egui Rosario's solo shot after 3 innings here in the 3rd inning. And after 3 innings of play, the Padres take a 1-0 lead into the 2nd period of this ball game, innings 4 through 6. Here at Petco Park for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. We have a 3-3-5. 3-3-5. Struggler on King. No. Champ on Luke Raleigh. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 5 blank. And that'll do it for the top half of the 4th. King is really going strong here, folks. It's still anybody's game. It's a 1-0 lead for the Padres as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. 1-1-5. Struggler on Woo. No. Utility on Higgy. He is a utility. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank. And that is going to do it for the first 4 innings here at the ballpark. Your score after 4 innings of play is Padres 1, Mariners nothing. Four, 5, 6. Let's see here. 4, 5, 6. Here we are. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, I play it as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. Since we're in the semi-freshest innings, the decider die says that Michael King is not fresh. So therefore, it's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Mitch Haniger is a semi-stoic runner, and the decider he is a full stoic. So therefore, the 4 will remain putting the runners on at the corners for Dylan Moore, the designated hitter, to bat off the men on base chart. We have a 45. 45. Fresh pitcher gets the ground out. And again, we're in the semi-freshest innings, and Michael King is still not fresh. So therefore, it's going to be a single scoring a run, and the game is tied up at 1. It's still 1st and 3rd for Luis Urias to bat off the men on base chart, and the Padres manager is keeping King in there to get out of the inning. Let's see if that was the right decision or not. 25. Iron fielder commits the error. Ha-Seong Kim is not an iron fielder. So that was a really good choice to keep King in this one. But he will be coming out of the ball game no matter what. So therefore, it's going to be a ground out to end the top half of the 5th, as we have a brand new ball game here in Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night between the Padres and the Mariners, as they are deadlocked at 1-1 after 5 innings, after 4.5 innings of play. One, 2, 4. Ace on Woo. No. Champion on Luis Urias. He is a semi-champion. The decider die says he is not. So therefore, it's going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank. And that'll do it for the First 5 innings of this ball game, your score after 5 innings of play is Mariners 1 and the Padres 1. And we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the bullpen for the San Diego Padres. And we will see who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And it seems the new pitcher for the San Diego Padres will be Martin Perez, as he has semi-star, full flash, and semi-control credited to his name. But for this at-bat against Leo Rivas, Martin Perez will have the full extent use of the star quality. With that being said, the score remains deadlocked at 1 apiece between the Mariners and the Padres as we resume play here in the top half of the 6th inning. 2-3-5. Star on Perez. Remember, we were giving him the full extent use of the star quality for this at bat against Leo Rivas, and he does have star. So therefore, that is going to end up being a no runs result of a 5 blank, and that is going to do it for the top half of the 6th here at Petco Park, with your score still deadlocked at 1 apiece. And we do see Brian Wu trotting out of that dugout to hopefully keep the score right at bay for the Mariners to hopefully come back in this one. Let's head to the bottom half of the 6th with the score dead even at 1 between the Mariners and the Padres. 1-2-4. Ace pitcher on Wu. No. Champ on Tatis. Get out of here. No way. That is going to be a no runs result of a 2 dot. And that is going to be all she wrote for the first 6 innings of this ball game. Your score after 6 innings is all dead even at 1 between the Mariners and the Padres. We got a 4-4-5 to begin this top half of the 7th inning. A 4-4-5. Workman pitcher on Perez. He is not. Utility on Robles. No. That is going to be a 4-4-5. Oh, I'm sorry. Workman pitcher on Perez. No. Hero batter on Robles. No. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank. And that is going to take us to the stretch here at Petco Park with your score after 6.5 innings of play as we head to the stretch here at the ballpark with a even score of 1-1 between the Mariners and the Padres. And everyone has settled back into their seats after a nice chorus of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, along with God Bless America, that was sung beautifully. And we continue play here in the bottom half of the 7th with a 4-5-6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're past the freshest inning, so Brian Wu is considered not fresh. So therefore, it's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Jake Cronenworth is a semi-stoic runner, and the decider die says he is. So that 5 is going to be reduced to a 4, putting runners at the corners for Manny Machado to hit off the men on base chart. We got a 46. Same reliever gets the strikeout. And again, when we say same, it's righty versus righty, lefty versus lefty. Since we have a righty versus righty matchup, they are the same. Brian Wu will get the strikeout to end, maybe end his day. But the managers for the Mariners say, do you got 1 more inning in you? He says, sure do. So we'll see if Wu will trot his way back out to the mound in the bottom half of the 8th. But we are deadlocked at 1 apiece between the Mariners and the Padres for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. 1-3-4. Ace pitcher on Perez. No. Champ 1-3. Or yes, champion on Julio. No. That is going to be a no runs result of a 3-dot. And that is going to do it for the top half of the eighth. And yes, we do see Brian Wu trotting out of that dugout as the manager is really putting faith in him. But just in case, that bullpen is going for the Seattle Mariners out in deep left center field. With that being said, we head to the bottom half of the eighth with the score all dead even at 1 between the Mariners and the Padres. 2-3-6. Excuse me. Struggler or Gilded on Wu? No. Sad sack on Bogarts? Get out of here. No way. When is Xander Bogarts ever a sad sack? So therefore, that's going to be an RBI question mark chance. The decider die says no RBI. The score remains deadlocked right where it's at. And we do see the manager shake the hand of Brian Wu. And we do see the closer for the Padres for the Mariners warming up out in that bullpen in case if the Padres give up the lead to the Seattle Mariners. We head to the ninth inning. Your score is all dead even at 1 between the Mariners and the Padres for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. We got a 3-3-4. Star pitcher on Perez. He is a semi-star. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 4-dot. And that is going to take us to the bottom of the ninth. As we do see, no matter what happens, the closer for the Seattle Mariners is making his way out to the mound here in front of a sold-out crowd here in San Diego for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. We'll see who that new pitcher is after we take this really quick timeout. Andres Munoz is now on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, trying to hope to get this game to extras to hopefully force the Padres' hand here. Let's see if he can do it. Munoz has the full ace and double flash quality. So for this at-bat against Jackson Merrill, Munoz will have the full extent use of the semi-star quality. With that being said, we're all dead even at 1 as we resume play here in the bottom half of the ninth inning. 1-2-3. Workman or Struggler? No. Champ on Merrill? No. We are going to extras, folks, here for Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night. It's a no runs result of a 3-blank. And we go to the 10th inning here for Game 2, all dead even at 1. 1 run is going to win it. So let's see who breaks first, who decides to blink first between Perez and Munoz. Oh wow, it's a triple sixes. So therefore, oh my God, that's going to be an injury result. So let's see what happens here. We'll roll the red die for this one. 3. Replace current batter with reserve player. Randy Arozarena is the current batter, and that is going to be a no runs result. We'll keep the actual roll for the main roll for this one. So Randy Arozarena is going to be coming out of this ball game, and we will have a new left fielder for the Mariners. But I don't think Randy Arozarena will continue on in this series. Man, oh man. Yeesh, since we're in Game 2, maybe he may sit out for Game 3. So with that being said, we'll be back for the bottom half of the 10th inning with the Padres and Mariners all deadlocked at 1 apiece. Timeout. Before we begin the bottom half of the 10th, some defensive changes for the Mariners. Haniger will move from right to left, as Dominic Canzone will come in to play right field. With that being said, we head to the bottom half of the 10th inning with your score all dead even at 1 between the Mariners and the Padres as we resume action here in the 10th inning by that score. 4-5-6. 4-5-6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, Munoz is the bullpen arm, so he is considered fresh for the remainder of the contest. Champ on Egui Rosario. He is not. So therefore, it's going to be a no-runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is a 6. We'll take this result for Slugger. Does he do it once more? Oh, and he does not. No home run king for Rosario, and that is going to be a no-runs result of a 4 blank, and that is going to send us to the 11th inning between the Mariners and the Padres, all dead even at 1 apiece. 2-4-5. Ooh, this is going to be interesting here. 2-4-5. Struggler on Perez. No. Sad sack on Raleigh. No way. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. Perez has a flash, but he does not have control according to the decider die. Double check. 2-4-5. Struggler, no. Sad sack, no. So therefore, yes, decider die was not used. Ooh, excuse me. That 2 will be reduced to a 1 since Perez had flash, but he did not have control thanks to the decider die showing blank. So the winning run, Luke Raley, is on at first base for Mitch Haniger to bat off the men on base chart. 46. Same reliever gets the strikeout. Perez is the relief arm, and it really doesn't matter. Perez is the relief arm, so therefore he will get the strikeout on Mitch Haniger to keep this a 1-1 tie between the Mariners and the Padres as we head to the bottom half of the 11th for Kyle Higashioka. 2-3-3. Ace pitcher on Munoz. Yes. 2-3-3. Yes. Ace pitcher. Yes. So therefore, that's going to be a no-runs result of a 2 dots. And we go to the 12th inning here at Petco Park. The score remains deadlocked at 1. Let's see what's going to go down as we continue play in the 12th inning with the score Mariners 1, Padres 1. 1-2-6. Struggler or Gilded on Perez. No. Hero on Moore. No. That is going to be 1-2-6. A no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is a 6. The decider die says yes, sir. Yes. So therefore, Dylan Moore is going to give the Mariners a 2-1 advantage going into the bottom of the 12th. Can Ha-Seong Kim find a way to tie it up for the Padres to send it to a 13th inning? Let's head to the bottom of the 12th. Last call for the Padres. Here in Game 2 of this episode of Rivalry Night, it's Mariners 2, Padres 1. 1-4-5. Ace or dynamic? Munoz is an ace. So therefore, that is going to be the ball game. No runs result of a 5 dot. And folks, that is going to be a stunning way to end the ball game. Dylan Moore hits the go-ahead home run. Manny Machado did it in Game 1. This time it was Dylan Moore as the Mariners tie up the series, going to a winner-take-all game back in the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington, for Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night. The final score in 12 innings for Game 2 is Mariners 2, Padres 1. Winner take all game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night is about to get underway. Your starting pitching matchups back here at T-Mobile Park in Seattle will be Logan Gilbert for the Mariners and Yu Darvish for the Padres. Gilbert has star, flash, and double control, while Darvish has semi-star, full flash, and full control. With that being said, Gilbert is all set and ready to go, and so is Luis Ariz. Let's play ball here for Game 3, as it'll be winner take all. We'll begin Game 3 with a 3-4-4. Workman on Gilbert. No. Sad sack on Ariz. No. That is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Gilbert has double control, so therefore that 4 is going to be reduced to a 2, putting the runner on at second base for Fernando Tatis Jr. to bat off the men on base chart. We have a 46. Same reliever gets the strikeout. Again, when we say same, it's righty versus righty, lefty versus lefty. Since we have a righty versus righty matchup, Tatis will get the strikeout. And that will do it. Padres threaten but do not score here in their half of the first. It's on to the bottom half of the first, and we do see Yu Darvish trotting his way out to the mound to meet Luis Ariz to lead things off in the bottom half of the first for the Seattle Mariners. We have a 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, I play it as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh, since we're still in the freshness innings. Darvish is still fresh. Champ on Arias. No, that's going to be a no-runs result of a 2 dot, and that is going to do it for the top half for this first inning of play. After 1 inning of play, we have a big fat goose egg between the Padres and the Mariners. Two, 3, 6. 2, 3, 6. Here we are. Struggler or Gilded on Gilbert? No. Sad sack on Cronenworth? No. That's going to be an RBI question mark check. Oh, and the decider die says no RBI. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 6 dot. And that'll do it for the top half of the second here at T-Mobile Park. The score remains tied at a big fat goose egg. One, 5, 6. Ace on Darvish. No. 1, 5, 6. Here we are. Sad sack on Rivas. No. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Darvish does have flash from 6 to a 5. Runners on second and third for Victor Robles to hit off the men on base chart. 35. Control pitcher? Yes, sir. Darvish does have control, so therefore that is going to be a ground out to end the first 2 innings here at the ballpark. The Mariners threaten but do not score. It's a winner-take-all feel here in Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night between the Padres and the Mariners, as we are all deadlocked at a scoreless tie. We have a 3-3-4. Star pitcher on Gilbert. He is a star, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result of a 3 dot, and that is going to do it for the first 2.5 innings of this ball game here at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. The score remains deadlocked at a big fat goose egg between the Padres and the Mariners. 2-3-3. 2-3-3. Here we are. Ace pitcher on Yu Darvish. No. Champ on Julio Rodriguez. No. That is going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank, and that is going to do it for the first 3 innings here at T-Mobile Park. We are all knotted up at a big fat goose egg, zip to zip, 0-0 after 3 innings of play. Two, 4, 5. Struggler on Gilbert. No. Sad sack on Bogarts. No way. When is Xander Bogarts ever a sad sack? So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. Gilbert has flash. So does he have double control. And perfectly enough, the double control is going to slice that 2 to a big fat 0. So therefore, it'll be a no runs result of a 5 dot. And that is going to do it for the top half of the 4th here at T-Mobile Park in Seattle with your score: Padres 0 and the Mariners 0. Four, 6, 6. Workman on Darvish. No. Hero on Big Dumper. No. That's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Cal Raleigh has home run king, so therefore he's going to hit one high, hit one far, and it is gone. Cal Raleigh hits a solo home run, giving the Mariners a 1-0 lead after 4 innings of play. 1, 2, 4. Ace pitcher on Gilbert. No. Champ on Merrill. No. That is going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that'll seal up the deal for the first 4.5 innings of this one. Your score after 4.5 innings is the Mariners 1 and the Padres 0. 2, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3. Here we are. Ace pitcher on Darvish. No. Utility on Canzone. No. That's going to be an RBI question mark check. And my goodness, folks, Dominic Canzone will get another run to cross the board thanks to an RBI result. It's 2-0 Mariners as we end the first 5 innings here at T-Mobile Park for Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night. We have a 1, 2, 5. Pitcher not fresh. We're in the semi-freshest innings. Gilbert is still fresh, according to the decider die. Champ on Egui Rosario. He's not a champion, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result of a 1 blank, and that is going to do it for the first 5.5 innings of this one. Your score after 5.5 innings is Mariners 2, Padres 0. 2, 2, 4. Ace pitcher on Darvish. Get out of here. No way. Utility on Raleigh. He's a semi-utility. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 2 dot. And that's going to do it for the first 6 innings here at T-Mobile Park. The score remains the score remains 2-0 in favor of the Seattle Mariners. 2, 3, 4. Pitcher not fresh. We're still in the semi-freshest innings since Logan Gilbert still is posting a big fat goose egg on the line score. So with that being said, he is not fresh according to the decider die. What? So therefore, it's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Higashioka is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says he is. So that 3 will be reduced to a 2, putting the runner on at second base. And that'll bring up Ha-Sung Kim off the men on base chart. 35, control pitcher on top of the 7th. on Gilbert. He has control. 35, yes. Control pitcher on Gilbert. Yes, sir. He has double control. That is going to be a ground out. And folks, Logan Gilbert is through 7 innings of shutout baseball. Can he keep it up? As we head to the stretch here at T-Mobile Park. And while these fine patrons here at the ballpark sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," along with a rendition of "God Bless America," we do see the bullpen door swing wide open for the Padres, and we will find out who that is as we take this really quick timeout. Jason Adam will be the new pitcher for the San Diego Padres as we begin the the bottom half of the 7th inning here at the ballpark, as he has ace, star, flash, and control. So for this at bat against Mitch Garver, we will not be giving Jason Adam any qualities, because those are all the qualities that we are looking for. With that being said, Jason Adam is all set and ready to go to battle against Mitch Garver off the main chart. 334 star pitcher. Yes, Jason Adam is a star, so therefore that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 and that'll seal up the deal for the first 7 innings of this game 3 winner take all game between the Mariners and the Padres for this episode of Rivalry Night, with the score Mariners 2, Padres nothing. We have a 2-3-3. 2-3-3. Here we are. Ace pitcher on Gilbert. No. Champ on Arise. He is a semi-champion. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Arise is a neutral runner, so therefore that is going to be putting the runner on its second base as the black 2 stays put, and the tying run steps up to the plate in Fernando Tatis Jr. as he will take his hacks off the men on base chart. Oh my God. 15. Scrapper hits double. Fernando Tatis Jr. is not a scrapper. Logan Gilbert hung a piece of cheese right in the sweet zone of Fernando Tatis Jr. as he sends this one out to deep left center field, and it is gone. The Padres break up the shutout of Logan Gilbert to tie things here at 2-all here in the top half of the 8th inning, and we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning by that score of a 2-2 tie. The fine patrons here at T-Mobile Park is saluting Logan Gilbert as he makes his way back to the dugout. Oh man, what a way to ruin the shutout if you're Fernando Tatis Jr. By hitting a home run, a 2-run home run to tie things up at 2-all. We head to the bottom half of the 8th with Dylan Moore to lead things off for the Mariners. Oh my God, 2-3-3. Ace pitcher on Adam. Yes, sir. That is going to be a no runs result of a 2 blank, and that is going to do it for the first 8 innings of this ball game. The Seattle Mariners are going to bring on a new pitcher, as Logan Gilbert shook the hand of his manager, and the bullpen door has swung wide open, and we're going to see who the new pitcher is after we take this really quick timeout. And it seems Troy Taylor will be the new pitcher coming out of the bullpen for the Seattle Mariners, as we will see him pitch here in the top half of the 9th inning. And with that being said, Troy Taylor has semi-star, double flash, and semi-control. And for this at-bat against Jake Cronenworth, Troy Taylor will have the full extent use of the star quality. And with that being said, we're all dead even at 2 between the Padres and the Mariners here for this episode of Rivalry Night for Game 3. 1-1-2, ace pitcher on Taylor, no. Sad sack on Cronenworth, no. That is going to be an RBI question mark chance. Oh, wow. Troy Taylor is going to shut down the Padres here in the top half of the ninth, giving the Mariners a chance to walk things off in the bottom half of the ninth. Can they do it? It'll be a no-runs result of a 1-dot. Last call for the Mariners to hopefully walk things off here in the bottom of the ninth, here for Game 3 of this episode of Rivalry Night. 3-4-6 on Luis Arias. 3-4-6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, Adam is the bullpen arm, so he is considered fresh for the remainder of the contest. Hero batter on Arias. No. That is going to be a no-runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Arias has slugger. The black die is not a 6. So therefore, it's going to be a no-runs result of a 3 blank. Let me just double check. 3-4-6. He's considered fresh. Hero, no. Yes, decider die was not used. So it'll be a no-runs result of a 3 blank. And we are going for the second straight game in this series. We are going to go to extra innings. This time, all dead even at 2 apiece between the San Diego Padres and the Seattle Mariners. This is what Rivalry Night is all about, folks. Let's go to extra innings presented by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. And we begin Doc Cola Extra Innings, presented by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community, with a 1-4-6. Ace pitcher on Taylor, no. Sad sack on Machado, no sirree. That's going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if control. Taylor has semi-control. The decider die says no. So therefore, that is going to put the winning run on at first base, and that'll bring up Xander Bogaerts to bat off the men on base chart. 24. Goldfielder makes the out. Leo Rivas is a neutral fielder, so therefore that is going to be an error, advancing the runners to first and second. E6 on Rivas. Oh boy, folks. That is going to bring up Jackson Merrill off the men on base chart. 66. Scrapper hits single. Merrill is not a scrapper, so therefore that is going to be a double, and the Padres are going to take the lead thanks to Jackson Merrill's 2 RBI double. Man, oh man, does that one sting. So therefore, we continue to roll here in the men on base chart. The Padres lead it 4-2 for Eguy Rosario. Oh, God, a 66. Scrapper hits single. Rosario is not a scrapper, so therefore, it's going to be yet another double, and another run will be added on. It's piling on for the Padres. They want some insurance and the Vedder Cup in this episode of Rivalry Night. The score now is 5-2 Padres, with a man on at second base for Kyle Higashioka. 35, control pitcher. Troy Taylor has semi-control. Decider die says he doesn't. That is going to put runners on first and second once more for Ha-Sung Kim. 34, slugger hits double. Kim is a semi-slugger. However, the decider die says he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a single one run is going to come across to score, runner on second scores, and the runner on first goes to third, and that is going to do it. So, folks, I mean, this is unbelievable. The the Mariners pen explodes to allow 4 runs here in the top half of the 10th as the Padres now lead the Mariners as we head to the bottom half of the 10th inning by the score of 6-2. Last call for the Mariners in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Two, 4. Ace on Adam. He is an ace. That is going to be a no runs result of a 2 dots, and that is going to be the ball game. Man, oh man, the Padres jump right out in front, scoring 4 in the 10th, and that allowed Jason Adam to shut down the Mariners to allow the Padres to win this episode of Rivalry Night and the Vedder Cup for our version, of course, of the Vedder Cup rivalry in this really unlikeliest of rivalries, featuring the unlikeliest of rivalries here for Rivalry Week number 2 for the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. Stay tuned for the final Game 3's game summary presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, we remind you, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. And stay tuned to see what's coming up next here for the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Once again, the final score in 10 innings, the Padres rally for 4 runs in the top half of the 10th to beat the Mariners by the final of 6-2 in 10 innings. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Rivalry Night featuring the battle for the Vedder Cup as we featured the 2024 Seattle Mariners taking on the 2024 San Diego Padres. Well, it seems we ran out of time for today, but never fear. Let's see what's coming up next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And man, oh man, are we ever in for a doozy of a episode of World Series Rewind, as we are going to rewind the clock just back a year to 2023 and the 2023 Fall Classic and feature the worst, and I mean the worst World Series played in some time, as the 2023 Texas Rangers will take on the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're gonna have to tune in next time here on the latest edition of World Series Rewind as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour that was being played with History Maker Baseball Express. We look forward to bringing you more matchups of Rivalry Night, World Series Rewind, Cross-Era Showdown, and a blast from the past as we revisit some classic and memorable games from Major League Baseball throughout the 2026 Major League Baseball regular season.